I'm Jennifer Sness, you're watching News 24 Live. I'm joined in studio by my co-hosts, Jerusha Sukhdeo-Roth and Nick Pawson, and we're going to talk you through the top trending search terms on Google this week. Hello, guys.
Hello, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Jerusha.
Hello, Nick.
Hi.
It's always nice seeing you here. It means that it's Friday.
Indeed.
Now, before we get into it, I just want to touch on this Google Doodle that was trending this week. I don't know if you saw it. It was Google, and the two O's were the Earth separated with the core in the middle. Now, this is obviously to commemorate the late seismologist Inge Lehmann, who discovered the Earth's core. So, just thought I would mention that off the top of the show. It was one of the top trending terms on Google because I guess a lot of people were clicking through on that doodle.
And important to note, a woman.
Yes, strong women. We need girl power around here.
Love it.
Now, load shedding was another one of the top trending topics, and I thought this time, let's get it out of the way so we can get into the real nitty-gritty of what people were searching on Google, because we speak about load shedding every single week, and it's getting a little ridiculous.
It is. I don't know what else we can say at this point.
Well, it's been bad this week. We've had some good weeks. This week was a particularly bad one. So, yes.
Was it particularly bad for you?
No, I fortunately am not affected by, as I've mentioned on the show before.
That's why I asked.
Very reluctantly. But yeah, I mean, obviously, stage one, upgrading to stage two, it's happened more than once this week, so that's not a good thing.
Some of Nick's best friends get load shed.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I think South Africans are. You know, we have to try and make peace with this as a reality for the next 2 years. But I think it's just, yeah, it is quite funny that every time we do get load shed, and you look at the comment section, which you probably shouldn't read into too much on News 24, but people act like it's happening to them for the first time every single time. And
that's me. I act like it's happening for the first time every single time. I'm sorry.
This week the ANC had a march in Soweto against Eskom.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday happening.
Interesting. And let's just
we'll leave it at that. I just want to touch on this. There have been claims that some police stations are not equipped to function properly during load shedding, so their phone lines aren't working. That obviously is a problem and should be the #1 priority, I think, moving forward. That needs to get sorted out.
Yeah, all those concerns, crime aspect, people's security systems not working, blah, blah, blah.
Police are at the core of our society, so they should sort that out. Yeah. All right, Nick, let's get into sport.
Right.
Real Madrid was actually the top search term.
Real Madrid. Remember last week?
I called Real Madrid. You called Real Madrid.
Real
tomato,
Madrid.
tomato.
I knew she was going to say that.
All right, well, that's enough of load shedding. I'm sure we'll speak about it again next week and every week for the next 2 years to come. So get used to it, people. Now, the top trending term on Google this week was Real Madrid. Nick, talk us through why?
No surprises there. Well, Real Madrid and Barcelona, I think, any given week are probably the two most searched football clubs in the world. But yes, it was the second leg of the Champions League semi-finals, and Real Madrid are out. They were beaten by Juventus, who, of the final four, were probably the underdogs. So they've gone through an aggregate, and they're going to face Barcelona in the final in Berlin on the 6th of June. So yeah, if Barcelona win, it'll be their 5th Champions League title. So. And obviously that team is full of stars, one of which is Luis Suarez, the controversial striker from Uruguay, the Biter, and he's going to be facing the Bitey.
Oh my goodness!
Chilean
Round
two. As well as Patrice Evra, who he supposedly made some racial slur against, allegedly, during a club game. So yeah,
interesting times for Suarez.
Some heated stuff we could probably expect on the 6th of June.
It sounds like a reality TV show.
I want to watch now. I never want to watch sport, and I want to watch for this because first he bit the shoulder and said a racial slur. Who knows what he's going to do next?
Yep, he's one of those players never short of controversy, but like Mario Balotelli, very talented, but yeah, it comes with the whole package.
Who are you supporting?
I don't really support. I mean, I do generally watch the Champions League final because it just is a massive game. I don't really support a European club. But I think for this one, I'm definitely going to go with Juventus just because they are the sort of underdogs.
All right. Jurush, who are you going with?
Jen, I don't know.
I would have just been like what he said.
Yeah, what Nick said. Let's go with that.
All right. Now, Jurush, moving into the Nepal earthquake that was a big search term this week. Tell us why we were looking at this again.
Oh gosh, it was a really horrific story. We know that Nepal recently had a 7.8 magnitude quake, and it killed over 8,000 people. Not a week later, a 7.3 magnitude quake hit. And at the moment, it seems that about 125 people have been killed in Nepal and surrounding countries. Now, the really devastating thing about this, obviously, in addition to those lives that are lost, is that Nepal's infrastructure has been basically brought to the floor.
Devastated.
There's really not much left. We know that there was a South African team from Gift of the Givers on the ground in Nepal during the first quake, and there's going to be a huge rescue effort to try and keep things going.
Now, of course, all of our prayers go out to the Nepalese people. Now, moving into our last search term is Musi Maimane, and of course, with the hashtag AskMusi trending yesterday, we all know why, but Jerusha, talk us through the events of the week.
It was hilarious. Nick, were you following?
Yes, as much as I could have.
100,000 tweets, the second most trended topic on Twitter in the world. Musi Maimane did a Twitter town hall, and he asked people to tweet him questions. Of course, some people tweeted him some legitimate questions about DA policy and their
but
plans.
those just got overshadowed.
Completely overshadowed by some of the funnier tweets. People asking him things like, oh, I don't know, why did the chicken cross the road? And questions about Beyonce, which he actually quite graciously answered, some of them at least.
Where's the person who presses the load shedding button was one.
Yeah, we just want to have a talk
Russell.
to him. I think he handled it very well.
Yeah.
Of course, in that week, he also spoke to CNN's Christian Amanpour, who called him the Obama of Soweto. So a pretty good week for Maimane.
Yes, I don't know if that sort of sits too well with me. It sounds a bit
The Obama of Soweto.
Hollywoodified. Yeah, I don't know.
Look, I mean, while interviewing Maimane, she also called the Economic Freedom Fighters the EEF. So it was an interesting interview. But
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. There you have it, your top search terms on Google this week. Let us know what you were searching on Google in the comments section below, and we'll see you on Monday.